Hey, this is Thomas from High Point Weather. Just wanted to make this quick video to talk about our forecasting methodology. We issued a snow forecast this morning for Wednesday to Friday, and most notably, our projected totals in the metro area and Front Range were a bit lower than you might find from other sources, and we wanted to talk about why we arrived at this forecast. Here's the forecast that we issued this morning for Wednesday to Friday. You can see that we're only calling for 1 to 4 inches of snow in the Denver metro area. We had a good discussion with Seth Linden on our Facebook page. Seth is a great weather forecaster who puts out his own forecasts on a Facebook group called Seth's Weather Report. If you're not a part of that, you really should be. The weather model guidance over the past few days and into today has been all over the place. There's quite a few models showing a very decent event for the metro area and foothills, with the GFS and Canadian model calling for 4 to 10 inches of snow in those areas. The GFS model this morning, shown here, had a bullseye of almost a foot of snow over the Denver metro area. The Canadian model looks great as well. These two models are calling for robust and prolonged easterly winds at the 700 millibar level for this storm. This would translate to many hours of decent snowfall rates, bringing our totals in the city up to almost double digits. These models have not been consistent from run to run with the placement or intensity of the trough that is causing this storm. So although they've had some exciting solutions over the past few days, we've been less inclined to trust their guidance until they get a better handle on the large-scale pattern. The European model, shown here, has been a lot more consistent and more conservative with its snow estimates for the Denver metro area. On this map, we see about a 2 to 5 inch event for much of the metro area and even the foothills. The model has had a better handle on the mid-atmospheric dynamics and has been trending towards weakening the storm and tracking the trough a little further south. That's not good for Denver. So we've been weighing this model a little more heavily in our guidance, especially the trend. Since we're a few days out from the event, we like to take a look at ensembles and blends to get a better idea of where uncertainty lies, especially in which direction it lies. These charts from the blend give us probabilistic guidance to help us determine which way models may trend, or if the deterministics differ significantly from their underlying ensemble background. Now, there's some differences between the deterministic models and the ensembles. The deterministics higher resolution and doesn't have the fake perturbations that the ensemble members have to give them the uncertainty. And so what we're seeing is that the deterministic runs are a bit of an outlier from their ensemble backgrounds. And a majority of ensemble members do lie on the drier side. So if we look from Wednesday to Friday, we can kind of see what the ensembles are thinking. There's a 27% chance that the Denver metro area gets more than 4 inches of snow. That's not very high, and that's with a 13 to 1 to 16 to 1 snow liquid ratio, which might be a little too low, but it's fairly close, we think. The box and whisker chart for Wednesday to Thursday only shows 2 to 4 inches of snow as the most likely solution. The ensembles are not something to use in lieu of the deterministic, but they do provide a context for it, and they do help illuminate the trends that we are seeing in the deterministic runs, for instance, the GFS moving towards a drier solution. If we take a look at mediograms, we see the same thing. These show us each ensemble member individually. And you can see that a majority of them have less than 2 inches of snow for Denver International Airport, which might be an inch less than central Denver. In fact, the ensemble average is only just over an inch. And that doesn't make us all that confident that a stronger snowstorm will actually happen. The GFS guidance looks pretty similar, and this was the model that has the double-digit snow total potential in Denver. The ensemble average is only about 3 inches. So what's correct, the ensembles or the deterministic? The deterministic is a little more accurate, so it indeed should have some higher weight than the ensembles, but the fact that so many members are calling for a 1 to 4 inch event in Denver leads us to believe that the forecast could trend in this direction. If we pull up the run that came out just a few hours ago, we can see that the GFS has completely dropped to a very dry solution. Now, this is the 18Z run, which we don't weight too highly because it doesn't take in new sounding data, but this run has an ensemble average of 1 inch for Denver, and the deterministic looks more like the Euro now with a 1 to 4 inch event. So we expect the GFS to bounce back a bit, but This is in line with the direction we think things are going. So our forecast reflects the fact that we think that models are going to move towards a 1 to 4 inch event, not that they're currently showing 1 to 4 inches. We think this is a good baseline, and we're happy to revise the forecast up to 2 to 5 inches or even 3 to 6 inches depending on what happens, but we don't want to disappoint anybody by having a nice forecast now and consistently revising it downwards in case this trend holds up. We've also had the higher resolution convective allowing models come into range, and though these have their own caveats for winter forecasting, they're looking very dry, and this is just another scrap of evidence we can use to support a little more cynical outlook for the storm than perhaps other services are calling for. This is in line with our philosophy of under-promising and over-delivering, at least in terms of snow totals and with the perspective of outdoor recreation. Again, thanks to Seth for having this discussion with us on our page, and definitely check out his forecast at Seth's Weather Report. It's always nice to get forecasting information from a variety of sources, and we hope we provide a unique perspective on some of the weather model data. That's all for now. We'll revise our forecast tomorrow, or maybe we won't. See you then.